Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. This is Nike Adikunle, and I am here live. I promised earlier that I was going to be. Like I said, we are trying our hands on this experiment to see how we fare at night. It has been very, very early in the morning. Some people have complained that uh, 7 o'clock is too early in the morning. Some people said we just love that time. I won't lie, for me as a person, I think I really love the 7 o'clock time. But so that one can also be sensitive to the needs of other people, I think that it's okay to give this a trial as well. Um, I want to see if I'm able to share this on other platforms. Um, Okay. In the absence of not being able to share, I think that, like I said, my name again is Nike Adekunle, and I am a couple and emotional therapist. And what I do is I love to work with people that are in distressed relationships to help them heal, especially the healing parts. A lot of people have been wounded by love, a lot of people are hurting because of their romantic relationships. And so, one of the things that gives me joy as a human being is to be able to, help people heal in their relationships and also to equip people with skills to live together as a couple. Trust me, most of us we have issues in our relationships simply because we do not have the skills to navigate around our relationships. Sometimes we look at our partners, we look at as our spouses as though they are the ones that they are deliberately giving us pain, that they are deliberately causing us pain. Sometimes the truth is that sometimes they just don't know how to figure out the things that you really want from them, the things that you are desiring from them, those deep needs that you have that sometimes even you are unable to communicate. Those are the things that cause us to have problems in our relationships. And trust me, if we know better, we'll do better. And most of the time we don't do as good as we are supposed to do because we don't know how to. And so this this night, this night, because this is still relatively strange to even me. I had to put on my timer to ensure that I don't forget, and so oh, I can see Tokwe here. Tokwe, thanks for joining in. Thanks for being here this evening. So, like I said, it's a new thing for me as well, trying to see how we can do this at night and trying to, for the people that complained that, oh, morning, we really want to join live, but the morning time is a bit too early because it's a long weekend already. Let's see how this fares. Unfortunately, I'm unable to share this. I'll have to learn how to do that maybe on another day. But for now, well, let's roll with this, then I'll share later. Today, I want to talk about something that is sincerely very close to my heart, and it is some of the things that have happened in the counseling room that I have witnessed. And so today, my topic is my counseling room experience. That's my topic for today, my counseling room experience. And I think um, a lot of us, you know, um, these things happen to our relationships, and we are unaware of why we are suffering in our relationships. Things happen in our relationship, we're unaware. Thank you, Tokwe, for nice to hear from you too. Thanks, Adiola Simon, for joining in this afternoon. Thanks for everybody that has joined. I can't see your names except to write something. I can't see your names, but I'm really grateful that you're here this evening. Um, and for me, sincerely, while I'm in the counseling room, I learn a lot as a person. I won't lie. You are not always there to learn from me alone, but I'm also there to learn from you. And sometimes I ask myself, sincerely, what is the underlying issue that we all have in our relationships? What is that thing that cuts across, that continues to be problematic? Why is it that for most of us, our relationships are very sweet, very, we are happy with each other, but all of a sudden, it gets to a particular time and it feels like we just can't, we can't stick other anymore. It feels like I can't even stand you. And sometimes, if we're going to be sincere to ourselves, sometimes it feels like I don't even want to be here with you. Sometimes it feels like, did I make a mistake? I don't know how many times I've heard that, especially when I'm doing my private sessions with couples, that it looks like I really made a mistake. That am I supposed to be here with this person? Am I supposed to be experiencing this thing that I'm experiencing? And unfortunately, um, a lot of us are not truthful when we are with ourselves. If you come to me, the truth is, I will feel obliged to paint a very beautiful picture of how my marriage is faring to you, and so will you. It's just like when we have children too. When we go out, oh, my children is the best. They are the ones that are doing the best in their school. They are always taking all the prizes. That is what we want people to see. And somehow we package, and overpackage the truth out of our relationships. And so we have a lot of people that have problems that might be universal, but they don't know it is universal because they feel like they're the only ones going through it. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to speak their truth. Because if I speak my truth, it means that I'm the only one going through it because nobody else is identifying with the kind of issues that I'm going through. So a lot of us, we just live in this false, we live in this falsehood that we have created for ourselves. And I'm wondering when we will begin to speak the truth, when we will begin to acknowledge the fact that I'm having issues and you might be having the same issues. Can I learn from you? Can you learn from me? And can we become better people in the process? But when we just continue to package, we are all very particular about putting the best foot forward. We are all very particular about making people see that we are not going through any issues. And so people continue to go in the same circle of pain. And for me, as a therapist and someone that works with couples, I feel obligated to bring out some of these issues so that we can all know, some number one, to know that we all go through these issues. Two, so that we know that we learn how can we better handle this thing? Since this is a general problem anyway, how can we better handle some of those things? And so for today, I want to talk about my counseling room experience. And I hope that you will want to roll with me on this journey and you would learn one or two things. And during the course of the year, sincerely, that is what I'll be doing throughout the year, my counseling room experience. I'll be looking at it because you know already. If you don't know, maybe you should know that I'm a teacher, and so what I do is I go gradually. I don't know how to lump a lot of things together and talk about them, or how to talk about issues without going in depth into them. So what I would, try to do is to bring out issues one after the other, to bring out issues layers after layers and talk about them in depth so that we get to understand them, especially from a psychological angle, from an emotional angle, and from a viewpoint of getting to understand the internal workings of people. And I hope that this is going to, I know, I'm not hoping, I know that this is going to be beneficial to a lot of us. And so, the first thing that gets me thinking aloud is that many of the people that I have seen, many of the people that have come in to counsel with me, many of my clients, most of the time they come a little bit too late. And I'm always wondering, why do we wait as people? Why do we wait as couples to make our matters degenerate so badly before we begin to seek help? Why don't we, the moment you begin to notice that issues, we don't understand each other, we're not communicating well, why is it that at that point we don't seek help? Why is it that we wait until things are finally degenerated? Most of the time, when I'm counseling with couples, trust me, they are not friends at that point. Sometimes they are even enemies. You see two people that are very bitter. They have layers and layers and layers of hurts that they've been tolerating for a while, and they are bitter. And sometimes they're even done. They are done with the relationship. Maybe they are coming because someone said, um, why not just try to look for a solution to this problem before, or give it one last shot before you eventually divorce? And so, most of the time, people are coming in because they need to tick that box that says that, well, we tried everything, we even tried counseling and it didn't work. And that is why we eventually got divorced. Some people are not as lucky as that. They just divorce without anybody counseling them to, okay, seek help before you finally divorce. And for me, it's a lot of heartache, because when you have gotten to a place where you already hold so much resentment, so much bitterness, and as it is at that point that you are seeking help, sincerely, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get people to even sit in the same room sometimes to want to talk about their differences. And the funny thing is, usually it is not something that is a big deal. It is something that when we are still friends, we could, you know, try to resolve. We could talk about it. We could, without, you know, I'm talking about when every single thing means something to your partner. When you say, no, that is how she always says no. That is how she always says no. And, people are already bitter. And my counsel is, can we begin to seek help when we begin to notice that I'm nursing certain resentment? And this is a good place that I want to beg our men. Please don't always think that you can handle it. Don't always think that I forgive in advance. Whatever she does, she's a baby. I would look the other way. I don't care. Um, don't always think that you're superhuman. Then another set of people that I want to beg are the quiet people. You don't talk about issues. You don't want any form of confrontation. And so you would rather not address issues. You will just let things slide. Sincerely, it is not a good place to be. It doesn't always work. When you stomach so much before you complain, it means that by the time you are complaining, you have had it up to here. You have had it. And at that point, you are ready to let go. And if there's anything that I want to beg, attend to your relationship issues when we are still friends, when we can still hear ourselves, when we are not too far apart. A lot of us wait. We wait. We think that it doesn't matter. We think that, okay, when I have nice clothes, I would wear it off, or I will party it off, or I would, but it doesn't always work like that. It doesn't always work like that. And if there's anything that I would really want to beg, is that we should please stop leaving our problems too for for too long before we seek solutions. That's the first major shock that I got, and it's very recurrent. Every time I'm speaking with a couple, it is already a very toxic relationship. And it makes me really excited when I get couples that they just, especially for, and sincerely, the funny thing is that it's even single people. Single people, they still care about what they feel. Single people would, they want to know, would this work? Would this not work? And once they begin to notice that, oh, I'm noticing some sparks here and there, they begin to doubt it early. But couples wait 12 years, and until they are really very bitter and resentful before they come in. Another thing that I've also noticed, and I'm talking about my counseling room experience, and I'm going to talk about it from different angles this year. Another thing that I've also noticed is that a lot of people that are complaining about unhappy relationships, that are complaining about problems in their relationship, they actually don't want resolutions. It is sad that I've noticed that people don't want resolutions. They only want, relief. People just want to be relieved a little. When the pain is really biting, you see some people, they might reach out to you. Oh, madam, this is what this stupid man has done. This is what this stupid woman has done. And the moment you are able to calm them down, they believe that the problem has disappeared. And they also disappear. And the next time that you're hearing about them, you will hear that, oh, they've been separated for a while. And you're wondering, oh, you identified this problem, but you didn't do anything about it. So what people want is actually temporary relief. Nobody is looking for a permanent solution. In fact, when you say that, come and look for a permanent solution to your issues, one of the problems that I've also identified, like I said, is my own counseling room experience, is that sometimes people are afraid of change. They don't know what will happen. They continue to anticipate. If I go and raise, because at the back, when your partner is not there, you quickly tell me, this is the thing, this guy, he pushes me to the very limit. Sometimes it makes me feel small in his presence. Sometimes men talk about how disrespectful she can be. She can be very disrespectful, and I have had enough of it. And by the time you're like, okay, can we talk about this? Somehow the conversation becomes too tough to have. People shy away from having tough conversations. They don't want to rock the boat. They just want it to be safe. No, but they just, and when you're like, okay, let's push so that we can actually talk about these real issues that are in your relationship. People will stop talking about that and they will begin to talk about she slammed the door and I don't like it how the door was sounding. And I'm like, no, this is not the real issue that you have. The real issue is a disrespect. But by the time you are face to face, or sometimes people come and consult you behind their partners, and they will tell you the things and by the time they come, you have already planned that. Oh, okay, when your partner comes, we'll talk about it. They say maybe 2 days later, they say, you know what, let's forget about it because I don't even want trouble. People just avoid solving their issues. But the funny thing to me as a professional, and that I always see how many marriage get dissolved, is you can't pay the price to have tough conversations. You are too afraid of change, or you are not afraid of divorce. It looks like we don't process these things long enough, or we don't process it to the right conclusion. And that is why the options that we have, we don't really process it. The option that you have is between a tough conversation and divorce. The option that you have is, you know, attempting change or eventually packing up the relationship. But it looks like the society is structured. We are somehow, maybe because we don't process things long enough or hard enough or to the right conclusion, we all settle for running away from solving the problems. I would rather not talk about the difficulty in my relationship and allow the relationship to break than for me to have enough courage to talk about the issues, the real issues that I'm having with you, and to dare to see whether we can have a change. And I think that that is cowardice. We need to develop the balls. We need to develop the courage to have tough conversations. If you cannot have tough conversations, that is why we are here. That is the work we do. And I would encourage that maybe we should think about it. I don't want to talk, but I would rather live and work out on my family. I'll turn my back on my children. It's easier to do that than to talk about issues that I'm having. And I think that maybe if I present it this way to us, we would understand what we are doing to ourselves in a relationship. Sometimes some people also have abandonment issues. They don't want to be abandoned. They prefer, the devil that I know is a lot more better than the angel that I don't have not seen. And I think that it's okay to risk whatever it is for the change that you desire. It is only a risk. It is like the four lepers that the Bible talked about. They looked at their situation and said, if we stay here, we'll die. If we move forward, we may live. If you stay in that toxic relationship, definitely it is toxic. Definitely you have gotten that relationship to a place where you both can't see eye to eye, where everything the other person says is misinterpreted. So why not just give it a chance? Maybe there can be an improvement in your relationship. And that's another thing that, that baffles me. Um, Always, when I'm in the counseling room, people prefer not to just talk about their issues, but they prefer to divorce instead. And I think maybe we have not seen it in that light. Maybe we have not seen that that is the choice, that is the preference that we are choosing. And I said, maybe if I put it this way, we'll get to think about it again. It is okay to have tough conversations. It is okay to tell your spouse what is doing wrong. It is okay. Some of them don't even know they are doing anything wrong. And I think it's okay to let them in on what they are doing that does not suit you. It's okay to have tough conversations that will walk away on your relationship and on your marriage. Another thing that another thing that I also think, sorry, another thing that I also think is something that we usually don't process is the fact that the emotional pain that we bear, and I'm going to continue to talk about this until we get it. I have seen clients present with serious health issues. Some of them have heart palpitations. When they are talking, they are shivering. The amount of the kind of negative energy that they are emitting when they are talking about their pain, that forget it, because that tension. Some people they are presenting with serious health issues, and I'm wondering, this is not working for you. Whatever strategy you are using to run your relationship, obviously it's not working. And so, would you rather consider somebody teaching you something different from what you have always known? We don't understand the impact that our emotional pain causes. And for some people, it's no longer emotional pain, it has become trauma, emotional trauma. You see people having heart palpitations, serious health issues like BP issues. Some people, they're already having, nervous breakdown. Some of them, they're already having issues with their bowels and all of that. And yet it is okay to still continue to manage things as they are. I think we all need to develop the courage to talk about the issues that we are having. It is okay to try to seek solution, no matter how long you've been in that marriage. 20-year marriage, there are some people that half of the 20 years, they have entered the point of resignation that, you know what, let's just stay. They are looking for a good reason to now leave. It is no longer because the relationship is serving them. Some men already have resigned and they are already into their side chick, and that one is giving them a better life. But you know, let's work on the relationship. It looks like something that can never happen again, and they've resigned. And so they are living in resignation. So they are waiting for the appropriate enough crime, or they are waiting for um the thing that you will do that will break the camel's back so that they can see this is it why I'm leaving. It's not because we are in it together because of love. We are just in it, looking for the right excuse to leave. So and I think that we should be aware of that. Um and you know um one of the things that hurts me as a person, that hurts deeply, is also when I have the chance to meet the children of people that have unhealthy relationships. When I get to meet their children, and sometimes I wonder, is it that adults are so selfish that they cannot see that the children are suffering? Is it that what I want and what I want to enjoy means so much that I don't care who is being hurt in the process? Because trust me, a lot of children are unhappy. When I speak with children, the fear that they are entertaining, some of them are just actually feeling like, for us, it's easy to say, if it doesn't work, then we get a divorce. It's okay. You go your way, I go my way. But the way the children see it is a lot bigger than that. The children are scared. When you argue with your partner, when you argue with your wife, when you argue with your husband, the way the children interpret it is like something is wrong with my home. What am I contributing to this thing? I think that maybe the way that I behave makes them fight the more. What can I do? And some of them, there is no human being. One of the worst feelings a human being can have is the feeling of helplessness. And some of those children actually feel very helpless. They don't know what they can do. And so they are just afraid. It constantly makes them afraid. Some of them confess that they're no longer doing well in school. Some of them, they just become absent-minded. And you, at the end of the day, you not begin to beat them again. And you're not concentrating, you're not doing this. But I think we should understand that our relationships have a lot of impact on us, on our health, on the psyche of our children, and on the psyche of the people that are generally looking at us. And so if um you know you have problems in your relationship, if you cannot afford to speak to a professional, I think you should seek help before it degenerates. It is always okay to seek help. Don't just seek for a brief temporary relief. It is okay to seek resolution. And you cannot seek resolution if you are not willing to learn and to grow. And this can only come if you are intentional about ensuring that you have a healthy relationship. Like I used to say, having a healthy relationship is very different from having a relationship that is working, quote and unquote. Because sometimes, you know, um, people are together tolerating each other. That is not the kind of relationship that I am advocating for. The kind of relationship that I am advocating for is a healthy relationship where you are both there and with the intention of nourishing each other, with the intention of growing, and with the intention of purposely advancing the causes of each other. If you are not advancing each other's causes, if you are not if you are not leading each other to becoming better people, then trust me, that relationship is not serving you. It's you are better off without that relationship than with that kind of relationship. And so our relationship should be geared towards ensuring that we develop into better people and we become better people. Because a lot of relationship, another thing that I have noticed, and which is the last thing that I'm going to talk about this night, is that a lot of relationships is actively encouraging a lot of people to become the worst version of themselves. So you see people actively becoming worse. You do this to me, I will do my own back. The one that will pain you is the one that I will do. And somehow you're becoming a worse version of yourself. And that is not what relationships are supposed to be about. Relationship and marriages, they're supposed to make us better people. We're supposed to be learning and growing through our relationship. And if your own relationship is turning you to a bad person, it's making you retaliate more. It's making you a more vengeful person, and it's making you a more resentful person, and all that is in you. You know, and some people, in fairness, some people do actually do this for self-preservation because you have tried to live with this person, and the person does not just, appreciates you when you are being you, when you are being, until you become nasty, until you get to that point where you begin to self protect. That's when the person understands that, yeah, the person is overstepping, your partner is overstepping his bounds. But I think that our journey this year is to help us see some of these issues more clearly. I'm going to be bringing in guests. Like I said, I'm a teacher, and usually I take things one step after the other and I tear it down in shreds so that you can understand why you do the things you do, why you respond the way you respond, why you act the way you act, and be able to, from the inside, see how you also affect your partner, what you're contributing to the table. Because some of us, we wrongly believe that it's only our partners that have faults, and when they change, everything would be sorted. Truth is, marriage is a call to growth, and I hope you understand that marriage is actually a call to growth. You would grow, your partner will grow, and you don't become better people in the process. So my counseling room experience is, some of these issues that I have identified, and I hope that you will come with me on this journey. I want to do this 2 times a month now. I think every Friday, every Saturday might become a bit too often. So I would want to do this bi-weekly, which is once in 2 weeks, really. So we'll do this bi-weekly. Next week, I'm going to be coming in with a guest, not this week, upper week. I'm going to be coming in with a guest, and we are going to talk about, some of the issues that I have identified. Trust me, you will learn on this program. Trust me, you will grow, and trust me, you'll become a better person. And I also trust that I'm going to grow in the process. Like I said, I learn from my clients as well. You're not the only one that is learning. I'm also learning. It's a learning community, and we'll continue to learn and grow together. And so, thank you very much for watching this evening. I have a lot of people that have joined already, and I unfortunately I can't see all her names. But Ruth Roberts Good Day Peter says, "What if they refuse to change?" I don't know what that was for. Some people aren't ready to change, and that is true. So we get to talk about all the dimensions. There are some people that really they're not interested in growth, they're not interested in changing. And what do you do with such partners? We get to talk about it. How when you are growing and your partner is not growing, what do you do? When your relationship becomes too toxic, what do you do? These are some of the things that we'll get to talk about in depth. Like I said, I like picking one topic at a time and shredding it into pieces so that we get to learn very comprehensively on that topic. Because sometimes if you don't address issues like that, you get to say things that can be misinterpreted, and I don't want to leave anything open to misinterpretation, even though this is 2023 and anybody can decide to interpret things the way they want to interpret it. But sincerely, like I said, trust me, it's going to be a very good ride. It's not going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be a very nice ride, and we are going to learn and grow together on this platform. Again, my name is Nikki Adekunle. That is my name, and I am an emotional therapist and a couple therapist. I look at relationship from the viewpoint of growth, of development, and of learning. And sincerely, you would learn. I have invested a lot of funds into learning. Thanks, Robert. Ruth, thanks for that contribution. Okay, I'm trying to see if we have any other questions for tonight. And in the absence of no question, I want to say thank you so much for joining in this evening. I hope this works. I hope this evening time will work. For all the people that complain that morning time is not convenient, let us see if we can get to please them. Let us see if I also can fit into this new this new model of doing live videos at night. But I hope that this has been good at your end. I've enjoyed bringing this your way, and usually it gives me a lot of excitement. And until I come your way the next time, which I think will be 2 weeks time. Thank you very much. God bless you. Somebody Oh, Tope, thank you very much. Thanks for the insights. Thank you for thanking me, and I appreciate you for being here. Until I come your way next time, I'm signing out for now. Bye.